Hi, and thanks for signing up to receive my Uncommon Self Esteem tips. And you're in great company because since 2001, over 500,000 people have signed up to our confidence and self-esteem emails. I'm Mark Tyrrell and I'm co-founder of Uncommon Knowledge. Now, self-esteem is a subject close to my heart because over the last 20 years I've delivered training on how to raise self-esteem to thousands of health professionals all over the UK. I've also written a book on the subject and seen hundreds of clients face-to-face who were suffering life-destroying low self-esteem. Now here's an idea I want you to think about straight off and come back to time and time again. If you have low self-esteem, then your view of yourself is, by definition, worse than what you are really like. Now think about that, because by definition, if you have low self-esteem, your low opinion of yourself is wrong. You're better than you think you are, because that's what low self-esteem is. Now that can take a while to get your head around, but we'll come back to that in your email tips. Now a client, Cindy, came to see me a few years back with terrible low self-esteem, and she'd been heavily criticized by both her parents when she was a child, and indeed she still was. Now she saw stupidity in herself where I saw intelligence, she saw ugliness where others saw beauty, and she saw badness instead of the decency that was so clearly within her. But the really important thing about Cindy's low self-esteem, anyone's low self-esteem, is that it's not just what people think about themselves, but how they've been conditioned emotionally to feel about themselves. And this is an important difference. Cindy knew she wasn't ugly because many people told her she was attractive. She knew she was clever because she had a degree and could speak many languages. She knew she could be successful because she held down a good job. But the point is, she didn't feel these things. I had to help Cindy feel as well as be able to think about her own self-worth. Bit by bit, using the principles behind the tips you'll be getting, Cindy started to feel her true value, to transcend the cruel conditioning she'd received as a child, to stop bullying herself and to stand up for what she needed. And on our last session with me, Cindy said, "You know, Mark, this is one swan who at last knows she is one and no longer believes she's the ugly duckling." She transcended the negative brainwashing from her past and claimed the self-compassion, which was her birthright. And you can too. Now, one major problem with treating low self-esteem is that it holds you in a kind of a trance state where you can't escape the self-damaging thoughts and feelings. And this is why I always use hypnosis to help people with low self-esteem. The conditioning that Cindy had experienced was way below the level of thought. And so we needed to help her get rid of that so she could feel who she really was and not always be having to feel negatively about herself. Negative ideas that, of course, have come from other people a long time ago. Now, if you don't deal with the feelings that drive low self-esteem, it's much, much harder to just think differently about yourself. You probably tried to be more positive, but found that after a while it just fades away as the old conditioning takes over again. So no one needs to beat themselves up to assume they aren't as good as others, or that they can't have or do certain things because they don't deserve them, or their needs aren't important. Okay. So enjoy these tips, let them work on you, pick them up and use them, because I can't wait to hear about your transformation.